All right.
It would probably be important.
Ooh. I think I have back problems.
That sounded bad.
I heard that my rib was out of alignment from this chiropractor, so maybe it's true.
Yeah,
It's like the bottom right one. Yeah, it just feels like
They typically know.
something poking my back. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Untitled podcast that I'm doing here with
Brandon.
Yep, Brandon and Sam. We're here reading Reddit stories and giving our opinion because we like to talk about things that don't matter. So let's get right into it. You guys ready?
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yesterday was my birthday. He got me nothing, then made me feel like the bad guy. My husband, 22 male, and I, 22 female, have been together for 6 years. For his birthday, our anniversary, and Valentine's Day, all within 2 months, I got him around 20 presents. Stuff he either really has been wanting or I knew he'd love. He got me a box of chocolates for our anniversary, which he mostly ate. And yesterday, my birthday, he got me nothing. Today, when driving him to work, we share a car for financial reasons, and I need it for work too. I asked him why, and he said he didn't know what to get me. Again, been together for 6 years. We're not exactly strangers. I've explained to him that I've had his gifts sitting in my Etsy cart for months because he'd mention something or I'd see something and then set it aside for him. He said, "Oh, so because you got me presents, you expect something?" Which, no, I don't. It was an example of me putting in effort. He then started saying that he's such an asshole and so mean and such a douchebag partner. Then he told me, just go tell best friend that I didn't get you anything. I need our friends to hate me too. For context, she and her husband are our mutual friends, but she's my best friend and I'm much closer to them than she is. So I started crying and he said, "Yep, exactly. I make you cry and you bake cookies for my coworkers. They had a potluck last week and I love to bake." Now he's at work. My work was canceled for snow. I've undoubtedly ruined his day and I don't know what to do next to unruin everything.
She's the worst, man. He needs
She's
to dump
the worst.
her.
Yeah. Chivalry's dead.
You know what I'm saying? He's out here doing absolutely nothing. And she's like all like, "Ooh, how do I... You're bad."
I think you want everybody to hate you, Sam. That's what I'm hearing. You're about to get a load of comments of people being like, "What is wrong with this guy?"
He's out here living his best life and she's like, "Oh, I got you gifts. Oh, I'm doing things for you." And he's like, "Okay."
Okay, do more.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, did I ask you to do that? Second, I'm not going to do anything to help you back. I think he's the real one in the relationship. And if she wants like someone who's like considerate or cares about her feelings or does things for her well-being, then get in another relationship. He's doing him.
Okay.
But like, in all seriousness, no. Just no. Like, you have to respect yourself, for one. Like, if you know you're going out of your way to do these things, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, and he's not even putting in a single effort, and then makes you seem like the bad guy. Like, she has to know.
She has to know, but that's her husband. So what are you going to do?
You gotta get out. You gotta leave.
What was it? What Beyonce said? To the left.
To the left.
Yeah. Leave. I mean, if they got kids, okay, then you gotta work something out. But like, in some cases, it's just not. It's cheaper to split.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about this the other day. You know, like, you pay for things with more than just money. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, it's gonna cost money to split up, but you're gonna be broke in emotions, broke in time, and broke and away from your family. Like, just like, you know, he's gonna like single her out and like just make her feel like she's like nothing. Mm-hmm. At the end, and she's out here putting in the work, and then at the end of it all, you just no.
Right,
You're gonna be
right.
I know Sam's just like, yeah, that was good. I 100% agree. So there's an update, or there's an edit, I should say, if you guys want to check that out.
Edit on the Reddit.
Edit on the Reddit.
Edit on the Reddit.
Edit on the Reddit.
He just called me at work and started off by immediately saying how incredibly sorry he was, and I'm right. He didn't put any thought in and actually forgot to get me anything, but he felt defensive and shifted the blame. He asked if I still wanted a gift or if we could go out together for a really nice dinner at my favorite restaurant. So, yeah.
No.
He's a catch.
He's a catch, but he's also, I don't know. I feel like he was also being a little bit like manipulative and gaslighting in the beginning.
So hard.
When he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm such a bad guy." It's like, no, I mean, you're not horrible, but the fact that she put so much thought into you and you're just gonna, I don't even remember what he gave her, but it was nothing. It was insignificant. She gave her in a box.
An empty promise.
Yeah. So for him to just be like, listen, I'm so sorry that I messed up. Can I take you out to dinner? Can I get you something? You know what? Can I take you out to dinner? A nice dinner? Is $100 going to fix this? Or?
Well, this is the point. This is where, like, I was kind of joking earlier, but I'm like, I do get annoyed by people who their partners are just like the worst. This guy sounds like he's absolutely awful, but they keep complaining about it. I'm like, okay, you told me the first time. I get it. He's bad. I'm on your side. Mm-hmm. After the fourth or fifth time, I don't know how long she's been going through this, but it sounds like it's probably been a while. Then I'm like, okay, I'm more annoyed at you now because you're the one just sitting through it.
Well, this is the first time she talked about it. So she said that they've been together for 6 years, and I don't see any mention of...
Did he just turn bad?
I think this is the first year that he got her nothing.
There's no way he's acting like this and he just turned bad.
I don't know.
There was earlier signs. There had to have been.
Okay, but like sometimes early signs are subtle.
Well, the way she's talking about like how he's like, oh, I'm such a bad guy, huh? That saying, I know he said that probably 16, 17 times before, like, oh, I'm just so bad, you might as well just leave me. Oh, I'm awful. And she's like, no, you're not bad. You're fine. He's like, oh, okay.
Well, actually, everybody in the comments agrees with you. There's another edit, but I want to read some of the comments first because she's addressing. Somebody said, oh, no, he's being a dick about it. He didn't want to get you anything. Then he's turning around on you to cover his ass. Or somebody else said, or maybe he stopped reacting and gets the errors of his ways apologized and will do better. Geez, they're only 22. There's a lot to learn about a relationship, especially through your mid-30s. There's more comments, but I'm going to read you her second edit now because it's related to that way that person just commented. Okay. She said, oh my God, y'all are ruining my day. LMAO, this is an incredibly isolated incident, which is why it upset me so much. I'm not leaving him. Someone insulted me for repeating that he's my husband, which I'm doing because there's an illegal element to our relationship. He's not just my boyfriend.
I guess we got to take her at her word. If it's an isolated incident, work through it, I guess, girl.
Sam said I'm done with her.
I'm over her.
It's like, why did you... Because, like, usually on these type of posts, it's, like, built up over years. Like, this guy's been like this and this and this. If this is the first incident, why didn't you just go talk to someone you know?
Ooh, I actually have some more tea to the relationship, maybe. It might not be the first incident of gaslighting.
Oh,
so I'm going to read...
I knew it. I said that.
There's another one that says, info... What redeeming qualities does your partner have? And OP responds. She says, he's smart, hilarious, genuinely supportive of my dreams, even if they're a little weird. I want to be an archaeologist. He does listen, usually. This gaslighting thing is an incredibly new development, like within the last 3 months. But we also moved across the country in December. He's creative and helps me find ways to accomplish my creative goals. Somebody else responds, and they highlight the part, the gaslighting thing is an incredibly new development, like within the last 3 months, ever since we moved. So he started treating you differently immediately upon moving. This is exactly when the sort of behavior starts. He's gaslighting you. And then when you get upset, he love bombs you into forgiving him. You might want to pay attention to see if this is a cycle that has developed with him. Next time you point out a not great trait he has, see if this behavior is repeated. Also, watch for other warning signs like telling you what to wear and isolating you from family and friends. And OP responds, but for some reason I didn't screenshot that. So, Also, this post was locked. So that happens on Reddit every once in a while when either the OP doesn't take the advice or people are just being too aggressive and mean. Like, people were just so mad at her that they're like, I can't with you. But yeah. So, I don't know. You might be onto something, Sam.
I'm starting to think she deserves it, because if she's an archaeologist...
Oh, God.
She digging.
Your dreams are a little bit... Your dreams are a little weird. You have the weirdest dreams of all time. You deserve to be treated bad.
This is why her post was locked. It was because of people like you.
I'm about to go unlock her post. Like, you're bad. You're an archaeologist. Find your own bones. You know
Dig up the past.
Yeah, get out of the past, man. Your husband wants you in the future, but you're in the past all the time. You're bringing up old stuff. You're digging up old stuff, OP. You're digging up old stuff. He wants to live in the present and the future. He's thinking about his kids down the line, and you over here digging up old bones.
I'm about to get a rambly meter and put it on Sam.
This is crazy.
We definitely hit 10 on that rambling meter here. Definitely hit 10.
On to the next one. Am I the asshole for telling the parents of the neighborhood the real reason why their kids can no longer play in my yard/playground? You ready?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm ready.
Okay. My grandparents owned the lot next to their house. They just used it for yard space. But when my sister and I were born, Grandpa knocked down the old shed on the empty lot and built a playground for us. Everything was made with his own 2 hands. It was a kid's dream, and we both played there any chance we got. And after we grew up, they let the kids of their neighborhood use the place to play with no issues. But then some years later, they passed, and the house went to my mom. I found out I was expecting, so my husband, Andre, and I started looking for a house when we'd only been half trying before. Mom suggested we buy my grandparents' house, since we know it's a good place and us buying it would keep it in the family. It's still in good shape, has no HOA, and is close to a good school. So we bought it for a steal and moved in ASAP. Right away, we noticed parents hanging out at the playground with their kids. We didn't mind at first, and we used the chance to introduce ourselves. Everyone was lovely and younger than I expected, but it seems a bunch of couples with kids have taken over the streets in their past 5 years or so. The problem arose when neighbor witch, NW, brought her kid over one afternoon. I happened to be there by the window and saw a flash of red outside. It was a kid in a red shirt literally standing on the roof of one of the 2-story playhouses, almost 10 feet off the ground. I ran outside, thinking he was alone, and said he needed to get down right now. That's when NW stormed over from who knows where and yelled me to fuck off and not tell her kid shit. I asked her if she was his mom, and after getting a yes, I asked her to make her son get down before he got hurt. She argued, saying I couldn't make them do anything. So I told her this was my property, and yes, I could. That's when the kid fell. Thankfully, once he was halfway down, only onto the grass, but he still wailed like he was dying. He was fine. He got up without issue and ran over to NW. She picked him up and said if he'd been hurt, she'd have sued me. So I threatened her with the cops if she didn't leave. She flipped me off, called me a gin jockey, random AF, I don't drink at all, let alone gin, but left. Andre was so worried other people might try to sue us if their kids got hurt on our land. I hadn't even thought of that, so we put up a fence. Parents came by asking why the fence, so I told them why, and they can thank NW. I heard she'd been shunned by the other parents, and none of them will let their kids play with her. I feel guilty her son is getting punished for her actions. Maybe just saying we wanted a fence up instead of telling them about NW would have been kinder. Am I the asshole?
Wait, so did the poster have kids?
They're expecting, right?
They're expecting.
But they have a playground in their yard?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh,
On their property, though?
Yeah. That's.
I'm still on the fence. I don't, cause
Literally, huh?
literally on the fence, cause it's like, I understand. I don't think there's anything legally you can do to like be like, well, I guess like a play at your own discretion type thing. Like if it's on their property and it's like, okay, we're allowing you to do this, but anything you do on here, that's on you. You know? Do they
Right.
have one of those? Like, is that legal?
I have no idea.
Yeah, because I know.
Well, I don't think you can. I think anyone can sue anyone, but I don't think they would win if they're like, my kid went onto the roof of your playground and fell off and broke his leg or arm or whatever, and they're like, the judge was like, what are you? Okay, just because it's their property doesn't mean that anything that happens on it is they're liable for it.
I think it's like, since she feels bad for the whole shunning thing, she's not. Because she's just trying to do what's best for her family. Because at the end of the day, if someone gets hurt on her property, and they can, I guess, in a way, be able to. Because it's their property. You know? It's like, ultimately, you're responsible for anything that happens on that property.
Kind of, I think.
I have a comment that agrees with Brandon, but we'll see if there's any that agree with Sam's point of view. Not the asshole. It's your right to protect yourself from harm. If any child gets hurt on your property, the parents can sue the pants off you. And then another person comments, she is literally why they can't have nice things. And it is a good heads up. I wouldn't want my kids to invite someone over to my house if his mom was Sue Happy.
Her name's Sue Happy. If her mom is Sue Happy, you can't hang out with them. John Happy and his mom, Sue Happy.
You're hanging out with Sally Happy?
No.
Do you know what her mom's name is? Sue?
I think it's Sue, Mom.
We're changing school districts.
Mom!
But then it's like, she better than me, because that would have been ultimate revenge. Like, now the whole neighborhood shuns you, and you can't come on the property. What's good?
Yeah, just get a sign for that kid. Like, everyone can put a door code on the gate of the fence.
Get a security
Yeah,
guard.
give it to everybody else except that kid and that mom.
A security guard who just he just has a picture of the kid's face on his head, and he's like, I will assault your son.
I will hurt him if
NW.
he tries to come in here.
NW, if you come over here, I have this man hired to hurt your son.
If you cross this fence, it's gonna get wicked. It's gonna get wicked.
That's
No.
actually a good idea. I think that's because the only thing that I'm kind of against the poster, and I think it's a little bit of an asshole move, is like, okay, you don't have kids, but you have this playground, and now you're like being like a weird Grinch about it. Like, everyone sees the playground, now I have a fence around it. No one get it, and I get, yes, this one person's ruining it, but I'm like, all these other kids like, Mommy, remember when we used to play? And they're like, no, you can't go over there anymore.
Hey, what that playground doing?
I think if this were me, though, and I really had, like, some random rude lady that was on technically my property and was just being annoying, I probably would do the same thing. I would probably feel bad and regret it like her, because I'm like, wow, there's other kids that are affected.
Kids are
But I
just
wouldn't feel
walking
bad
out
for her.
crying. There's,
Yeah, no,
like,
they're
tears.
just glaring at the
Still.
house.
Everyone's. I don't think that the kids are mad at the other person. I think they're secretly mad at her too.
At the OP?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Like they egg her house on Halloween. They egg the playground.
Her kids get born,
Yeah.
they get shunned.
Yeah.
that's Nibber Crocker's house. Yeah.
Freaking Sue Happy's like, see, that's what I told you. You shouldn't have put that fence up.
Why are you messing with
Yeah.
us?
Sue's like, yeah, that's what I thought. You better take that fence down.
I don't know. I'm in the middle. I'm not Sam, where I don't think I would have done the same thing, But I probably would have regretted it, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you can keep one kid specifically out unless you're calling the police. And I'm not a Karen yet. I don't know what age you reach, Karen.
Are you a Sue though?
I'm not a Sue happy.
Okay.
I'm not a Sue happy. But yeah. So I don't know. I'm in the middle.
Well, I think I would never get in the situation because I'm like, I don't want people in my like property anyway. So I would never have a playground on my property.
I think if you had a playground on your property, you would have like spikes on the
Oh, yeah,
slide.
it would be just dangerous.
It would just be like molded over wood any moment.
Yeah.
It's like the most, so like all the teenagers would be there.
Oh, maybe we should do this.
He's like, hey, I
I
got
got a
space.
backyard, man. Hey.
On to the next one.
Susan Happy.
Suzanne.
Suzanne Happy.
Suzanne
My
Mackey
friends call me
Happy.
Sue.
And you're not my friend. So call me Suzanne.
Sue calling the police happy.
I'm swabbing the decks.
This one has one award, 6,000, over 6,000 upvotes. And I have not read it.
She hasn't read it. Read it. Because you get
Wait,
it.
is that why it's named?
Yeah.
Because you read it. I got a book in my pocket, but I already read it.
Oh. Okay.
Read it. You get it because you read things. You read it, but like you
But she hasn't read it.
haven't read it yet. But then once
She
you
read it.
once you read it, you respond.
Ooh.
That's spoken
Ooh.
word.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh my man, that's my cousin, man.
That's my man.
But that's my cousin. So.
That's my man.
I storm off.
Show's
This
done.
is over.
The camera just goes to
Yeah.
the side. But it's really gentle,
Yeah.
so you can tell it's planned. This sucks!
I hate this.
All right.
This is the worst.
Am I the asshole for telling my son to leave my house after he announced his engagement?
Guess good to hell. What? All right.
Leave my house after announcing the engagement.
He must have done something really bad. I wonder who he's with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dang, that's crazy.
If he married, like, if he's getting engaged to like his car or something, then yes, that's fine. Kick him out. I'm not supporting a marriage between your car and you.
That's the only way that it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's a partner she knew about, or she or he knew about, was it it? Or do we not know yet?
We don't know yet.
Okay. Yeah, why? You just want to cause problems. You want pain.
We're about to find out why.
Yes.
Oh, we about to find out why.
Let's go ahead and do that.
I think we about to find out why.
Oh no.
So too.
Oh no. I read the first paragraph. It's not looking good.
Okay.
My son Adam, 24, his best friend Carlos, 25, passed away over 2 years ago in a car accident. This loss completely devastated Adam to the point where he lost his job. They were like brothers, and our family has known his family for years, so we were also very devastated over this loss. Carlos left behind his girlfriend and their now 4-year-old son.
I knew it.
We don't know his girlfriend too well since he didn't bring her around much. They were on and off till their son was born. Adam told me that he's been seeing and taking care of Carlos's family's needs, which is great.
Oh.
We were glad he was stepping up to make sure that Carlos's family was getting help. Adam also got a new job, and we sort of had limited contact for a few months. He started visiting us lately and looked different in general. He's now more calm and smiles more often, and is even open to talk about Carlos without getting too emotional. I was relieved and happy for him, but last week he contacted me and his dad and said he had something to tell us. He visited and brought Carlos's girlfriend and child with him. We had dinner, and then all of a sudden he told us that he and Carlos's girlfriend had started dating and announced their engagement there. I was in shock. I didn't expect this at all. I didn't know what to say, but I felt upset and shocked mostly. Adam noticed my reaction and asked what's wrong. I told him I never expected him to get with his best friend's partner, of all people, and talked about how bad this will look to Carlos's family, who are close friends to ours. Carlos's girlfriend excused herself and her son to the bathroom, and Adam began arguing. He went on and on about how I upset his fiance and that I should be supporting him, but I said that he should have told me and that he shouldn't have got together with his best friend's partner and perhaps use her grief to get her to date him. He acted shocked and called me unbelievable. That's when I asked him to leave my house. He got up and left with them. My husband said I messed up by making a scene and reacting the way that I did. I went upstairs and stayed alone for an hour. It's been days, and Adam hasn't called, and my husband keeps trying to get me to speak to him, but I kept saying I needed time.
Wow.
100% she's in the wrong. 1,000%.
Wow. And before, when we were just like, okay, something's going on, the second you said had a best friend and it wasn't the spouse, I was like, he scooped that up like really fast. I know he did. And then you're like, yep. Mm-hmm.
I read the paragraph and I got nervous.
Okay, let's start there. Is that wrong if your best friend dies to date their partner? Is that wrong? Do you see that as wrong?
I think it's a little weird. So yeah.
See, I don't think it's weird.
Sam, who are you trying to hook up with right now?
No, I think it's different if your friend is still alive. I totally agree with those rules. Like, you had your best friend had a girl, they had kids together, they had a really serious relationship, they break up. You can't do anything. They're still alive. Don't go after your alive friend's partner, ex. But if they're dead, who is it hurting?
You gotta kill them first before you can get the girl.
Well, you gotta think they're really close with the family still. So it's like they know about her.
We're still gonna be close. We're gonna be closer.
Okay, but they said in the beginning that it's like they're like brothers. So that's like taking your brother's girl and his kid.
I think that's nice. I think that's the ultimate uncle to take care of their needs.
Take care, yes, but sleep with, marry, have more children with.
What does taking care of mean? Taking care of means a lot of things. He's taking care of the kid, and he's taking care of the mom. You know what I mean? The dog. So you guys genuinely think it's wrong?
I don't think it's wrong. I just think it's an awkward situation. Like, it's an awkward position to be in. Like,
okay.
Like, it's awkward just because, like, you just see the family just like, okay, we know who that is, and now we know that they're together. Like, you know, there has to be some sort of grief between that, for one, and then two.
Do we know that did it say like they just got together right away? Like, he died and then bam. I thought it was a couple of years.
Yeah, 2 years ago in an accident. Lost contact for a few months.
And that's when it happened.
Trauma bonding.
Yeah, that's real.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think every situation is wrong, but from the way the mom is describing it, they're so close that it's weird. So it's like eventually it's like the family member where you're like, okay, I know you're gonna do whatever, so I'll see you at Thanksgiving, but why did you do that?
Well, I thought it was completely out of pocket when she's like, oh, you used the trauma to get with, like, that's when I'm like, are you kidding me? You can be like, oh, it's weird, I think this is strange, did you think it through? But then, like, accusing your son of, like, being some kind of predator and, like, attacking this girl to get her when she's down. We don't know.
In front of her, too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
In front of her, too. It's kind of...
Yeah.
It's kind of awkward to talk about a person as if they're not in the room. I mean, I don't know if that's how they were saying it, but I do think that probably was out of line. It was pretty bold to say.
And then it's like, yeah, just to paint him as the villain is just horrible. Like, like that's your son at the end of the day. Like, y'all blood.
Yeah, it almost makes more sense if the guy who died's parents were like,
That's true.
what are you doing? But this person that you're just the mom of, it was his friend. You guys were close, but still, why are you so angry? What is your skin in this game? I would totally get if the dead guy's mom was like, what are you doing going after my sons? Blah, blah, blah. She would at least have more reason to be angry, but why are you mad?
Yeah.
Mom?
Yeah. I can see that.
I was gonna say that too. I was like, that's weird. Like, you literally have no part in that. Like,
Yes.
like, you didn't. Okay, even if they were like really, really close, like they're like described like brothers, like you probably have not even like remotely met this girl yet.
Right.
Like, so it's like the fact that he's like, oh yeah, like, okay, maybe pictures. You might have seen them in pictures, or like they might have been around the house, maybe once or twice or whatever. But it's like, yo, like you literally have no place right here. None. He's not even your son.
Yeah.
He's not your son.
And I think that's exactly why it's less weird to me, because I'm like, it's different if it was his actual brother who died and he got with his actual brother's wife. That is different to me than, I don't care how close they were. That's still not his brother. That's still not his family. It's less weird. It's not weird to me. I'm like, that's just a girl on the street. I just happened to know her before her partner died.
Oh my God.
And that sounds bad, but I'm like, that's how I see it.
Well, that's how a lot of people seem to
Yeah.
see it. So, top comment with 3 awards. You're the asshole. It's been 2 years. The girlfriend is allowed to move on and find love again. I'm sure they grew closer and supporting each other. So this is unsurprising. Intimacy is not predatory. You accused your son of being manipulative and predatory without cause. You also made it seem shameful that she's moving on and not starting permanently a grieving widow, which I'm sure she's had to work through the emotions of already on her own. You behaved very badly to both of them.
Say that.
Yeah, because you can't dictate how long someone needs to wait or whatever. Like, whatever you feel is the right thing. Like, life is way too short. When you're ready, you're ready. You should go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so hard to find a person anyway. So you're like, they found someone. Hey, be happy for them.
Did it happen to be someone you knew? Well,
So
are you happy?
You get to know less people now. I mean, I'm always afraid of like no new friends. It's not a new one. It's just an old one repackaged and sent back over again.
And I think the other thing too, it kind of, I guess in that position, it was probably really easy, because it's like she knew him.
Yeah.
They were best friends. You had to have known each other, and like that just makes the process so much easier. Like, cause like, now you know how the person kind of functions, at least from how I go about things. You should know how the person is functioning, right? And then know like what their beliefs are, or like how they carry themselves, how they are treating you. Mm-hmm. So it's like, in a way, she got past all that.
Right.
Because he was best friends with someone, and you're only friends with someone that like believes the same things you believe, or like my closest guy friends are like carbon copies of me, and we're like carbon copies of each other. But it's like
they literally call each other twin.
We all have like our own like individual personalities, whatnot. But like for the most part, we all believe the same thing. Like it's like, okay, one girl, take care of her, take care of yourself, and like you'll be good. So it's like I could understand also like how that process would be a lot easier to do, because it's like you already know him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on. We got a good opportunity.
Oh.
Because we have a couple right here. So let's say Brandon died. And one of your friends, your homies, these close people, twin, 2 years from now, got with Maddie. Do you think... Wait, first, would you be mad? Dead you. Let's say you still like are cognizant of what's happening.
Oh.
Would you be mad? And then second, do you think your parents would be mad?
I'm I'm gonna answer this backwards. I don't think my parents would be mad, because my parents are supportive. Like, I won't ever be in that position.
Amen.
Amen.
Preach.
But
Shout out.
my parents are very supportive.
Good answer.
Of Maddie, so it's like,
Your mom comments, "No, I would be furious if Maddie got with anyone except my son."
yeah, like they're. I think that's the other thing about this. Like, you don't own her,
True.
so
Exactly.
it's like,
Thank you.
what would be the problem?
Hey, women. Hey, women. Am I right?
But-
yeah.
They're independent.
Oh, from the other side, I mean, if any guy was like watching, like, they'd be like, no, what is going on? But it's like, at the same time, it's like, that's tough because it's like, it's someone you trust. So it's like, I know that she would probably be in good hands. But it's like,
Yeah.
man, like, this sucks, but at least you're with someone that is good.
Yeah, because dead you, right? I think it's weird when people get quote unquote mad about their exes being with someone they know. You're like, so would you just rather them be with a stranger? Is it the betrayal is that they are with someone that you were with? I'm trying to like break it down. What is the bad thing about someone being with someone?
I think for me, it's like the jealousy, just like in general, like I want to be with Brandon, so I don't want anybody else to be with Brandon. But if I were to be in that situation and like one of my girlfriends, if I died, one of my girlfriends was with Brandon, I have a few people in my head that I'm like, okay, like I would allow that from heaven, I'd be like, fine, I gotta go. But
I mean, we can't because this is my cousin, so I don't know if I was one of those people, but.
I was thinking of girls.
Oh, I was like, this is my cousin, so I can't. I'm gonna respectfully bow out of the running.
So I know I was probably first.
Yeah, I
option.
know it's probably one or two. I
You
just
were
can't
number
do
one,
it.
but I'll take you off the
Yeah,
list.
please.
Yeah.
That's my cousin.
-1.
Yeah.
But for me, to be honest, it would probably be jealousy. But then, getting past that,
Yeah.
I could understand it. But initially, I'd be like, no, like what? If I was dying, I would not want Brandon to be alone though. So I'm like, I would just have to get over it.
But would you rather him be with a stranger or a friend if he ended up with someone? You're like, I want it to be a completely new person, and you want it to be someone you know.
To me, it doesn't necessarily matter because it's like, how would it like affect me or like the family? I genuinely like, I don't think it would. I don't know. I mean, it's like the devil you do know versus the devil you don't, right? It's like, who knows? It could work out.
Friends. You got demons?
Demon time.
Hey, my cousin ain't getting with a demon. If you got demon friends, you need to let me know right now because my cousin ain't getting with no demons. I'm serious, Maddie. We need to cast these friends out in the name of Jesus.
I don't know. There's my answer. I don't know. To
So-
me, it wouldn't really matter.
We all agree she's the asshole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
the situation. Sorry to interrupt you. I think the situation was weird, but
yeah, but I think your other question you were asking, like where does the jealousy come from when you're like, still a lie?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like if the relationship goes bad, regardless of whose side it's on, it's like if you're the best friend, you know that history. So it's like if something were to go bad, right? And it's like let's say the last partner was extremely manipulative, right? And it's like, hey, man, like they're broken up, blah blah blah. That like the friend knows about all that. Like you's probably going to him like, hey, like she did this to me, like blah blah blah. And it's like, oh, okay, that's crazy. Like move on.
Yeah.
And then it's like, then you date, and it's like, okay, you knew the foundation I was building with. Like, you knew everything that was good and bad about it, but it's the fact that you're, like, coming in on the foundation that I have. Like, you come with the knowledge that you already know
Yeah.
from her, and you're just gonna build on top of that. And it's like, and then turn around and ask for advice and stuff like that. It's like,
Asking for advice is weird.
I can't help you. You knew from the start.
I'm so lost.
I actually see that different though, because so Brandon's saying that if you don't die, you guys just break up badly.
Mm-hmm.
And your friend, he knew about the relationship, he knew everything that was happening, and then he gets with your ex.
Gotcha.
And like the jealousy comes from like, hey, why are you getting with her? You know why we broke up. Why are you getting with her?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of know why they broke up. You're always going to get everything filtered through your friend. No one knows. Everyone knows that you're like, oh, she did this, she did that. I'm like, well, what'd you do? And they're like,
Two sides of the
nothing,
story.
man. I was fine, man. I did punch her in the stomach one time. That's it. And she gets all mad at me and starts yelling and screaming. You're like, okay. So I'm like, you never know the full story. But I think at some point you're like you said earlier, you don't own the person.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get being jealous. Jealousy is going to happen no matter what. But I'm like, at the end of the day, if my ex got with my friend, actually that's happened before now I think about it. At the time, I was mad at the friend. I did stop being friends with the friend, but I wasn't mad at her.
Mm-hmm.
I was mad at him for doing it.
But the mom's mad at him. She's not mad at the girl, right? Well, she kind of shamed the girl, huh? A little bit, because she's.
That's different. This is if the dead boyfriend was mad at him. That's justified. The mom has no skin in this except that it's her son's new partner.
Yeah.
Because the girl's probably fine. She's probably great. She's already got 2 guys, so she's good enough to get at least 2.
I am so lost because you guys are talking about people that are alive, people that are dead.
Oh no,
We're talking about jealousy now. We're talking about
Right.
keep up, Maddie.
Were there any updates?
There wasn't any updates. The comments were basically
Because she probably got
saying that
shamed. She probably didn't know. She
Yeah.
had none. She was like,
She didn't have anything to say.
because people who are on there, they want to be like, no, you're in the right.
Nah.
Mm-mm.
Nah. You were not in the right for that one.
You can feel all those things. You ain't got to say that to your kid. I think that was just wrong.
And you're grown. You're grown. Well, why?
Right.
Why? You should be grown enough to know, okay, a situation comes to my table. I don't have the best words to say. Then wait.
Right.
You don't have to say it. Everything does not have to be said. Sometimes you need to sit and think about what you're saying before you say it. She didn't do that.
Okay, the title is Am I the Asshole for Recognizing he's a 29-year-old male, his ex, a 29-year-old female, from college, and trying to talk in front of her husband, implying that we dated.
From the sounds of it, yeah, you sound like an obnoxious asshole.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Okay. We broke up at 21 after a year of dating, asked me to get back together again when we were 22, and I felt she was thinking I was easy, and we never got back together, and she cut complete contact, blocked everywhere, calls, texts, social media. I saw her last week in a flight by coincidence. She didn't recognize me immediately because I was wearing a mask. She took off hers to drink water or something. I've kind of always resented her for how she treated me. I didn't know that the guy she was with sitting next to was her husband. I realized it when he grabbed her wrist and they were a bit touchy-feely for strangers. They were talking and I heard her say how lucky she was to have him in her life and that she never knew what love really was until she met him and how she lived those 23 years without him. And after a while, I started talking to her. She looked shocked and introduced me to her husband as a friend from uni. He was friendly and asked me how my ex was like in uni. I called her a heartbreaker as a joke and that he should be ready too, and she isn't as sweet as she seems. Mm-hmm. My ex was shocked, turned towards her and said, he's that jerk I cut contact with, and they swapped seats immediately. Her husband kept giving me angry looks. I don't know why. I was just being friendly. I don't know why they overacted so much. I told my sister and she told me it was an asshole move and I shouldn't even have tried talking to her. I was just being honest.
I don't know. It seemed like he had, the background with her to where he was like, how do I say this? It sounded like from what he said he had like the pent up emotion. So he was like, I don't like you. So seeing you be like all lovey dovey, I'm gonna confront you. But I don't really know how their relationship was, I don't know.
What do you think, Brandon?
He's toxic. He is extremely toxic. What? Okay, there's two types of a-holes in the world. There's the people that are intentional, and then the people that are unintentional. Both are very evil, like very mean. The ones that are doing it are like, okay, I know I'm doing it. The ones that don't know they're doing it, they're like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm feeling this way, and so I'm gonna just speak my mind. And it goes right back to that point. You don't need to say everything that comes to your head. So yes, he is, because what were you gonna gain from that? Like, what type of reaction would you have expected? Like, that person is literally sitting there with their spouse. Like, how? I could say it could have been like one of those things where he could joke just honestly like that. But you cut contact, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to start that. Like, you have to start that interaction with someone that already has their spouse sitting right next to them. And you have to go in there and that's what you have to say. No, you had to know. And if it was unintentional, there was something to gain, because we know that because he said, I don't get it. I mean, she cut contact with me. I have a lot of pent up aggression and emotion,
right?
But I don't understand why she would just be so mad. You do know. You 100% know.
I genuinely feel like I didn't catch any of the context. I feel like I was trying to understand it for so long that I didn't hear all the horrible things that he was doing, which is why I was like, I don't know anything about the story after you just read it to me. So yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of what Brandon said.
I mean, reading it, yeah, I totally agree with you. He's completely toxic. Like, he was just being petty. He knew exactly. There's no way. I don't know what I was doing. I'm like, you're gonna go talk to your ex that you haven't talked to for years.
Literally blocked.
Yeah, 5-6 years you haven't talked to them, and think that you're just gonna stroll up and have a conversation. You're clearly still angry. You said it. He stated that he's like, I'm still hurt about how it ended. So you're still mad for something that happened years ago. There's nothing going to be good. Anything you say is going to come out of a petty state. So I'm like, you're completely the asshole. She's out here living her best life. It's so funny that what made me laugh was like, she's like, I never knew what love was until I met, like, he just happened to hear all this conversation about how much she loved. She never knew what love was. And he's just like fuming in the back. Because that's like a TV show. That's like a TV show, hearing all those things. You're like, I wish she said that to me. One of the comments, I think, was, well, let me give the edit first. He said, I get it. I'm the asshole. Stop sending me DMs. I doubt I can apologize as I can't find her husband on social media and she has already blocked me. I don't have any info about them. If I see her in person, I'll just avoid her. I don't know why he's looking for her. But here's one of the comments that I really liked. You do realize you don't have to give someone a proper reason for breaking up. If you don't want to stay together with someone, you don't have to. You don't owe people an explanation. You, however, just want to revenge on her and destroy her current relationship. After 7 years, just get on with your life. And that's how I feel completely.
I think that. What do you think?
I just think that's a great comment.
I think that, especially that 7 years.
Yeah.
So, let me get this straight. You remember, like, you been blocked for that long, and that's the first, like, that's what boggles me. That's the first thing you say.
True.
after 7 years
Right.
of not seeing her.
Right.
7 years, and you guys were like, at least, because didn't he say he was like from 20 to like 22?
Yeah.
So that's only 2
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
For 2 years you dated, and 7 years of being like resentful and petty.
Just
like,
mad.
You knew. But I think the funniest thing too, I feel like she knew he was there.
Oh yeah, she probably did recognize him, and she was being petty. She's like, "Oh yeah," because those are the weirdest things to say to someone in the airplane. I love you so much. I'm mad on the airplane all the time. There's no way I'm saying I love you. You're the best person I've ever met.
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
I really think that's true.
I totally agree. She
She probably
definitely
said
saw
it loud too.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
It's like there's nothing you can do for me in the
Yeah.
airport to make me just like, oh my God, you are just wow.
Wow,
No.
honey pumpkin.
I was like, she knew he was there. So now I have a little bit of a different perspective. I get why he's like asking, like, I'm the asshole. But like, okay, she probably. So now this is how I'm viewing it. She knows he's there.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that she knows he's there.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh my God, this guy is. Let me be petty real quick. And then he's like over here like, oh my God, I love you. You know, you're the best. I never knew what love was. And he's like, all right, bet. That's what you want to do? All right. Let me go in here and mess some stuff up.
But even then, she didn't engage him. I get, even if this is true, she's being petty. She still didn't get engaged. She didn't like rub it up. She's like, hey, that's my ex too. That guy who sucked. She didn't go up there. She even tried to like play it cool. She's like, oh yeah, he's just some guy from college. He's like, some guy from college.
I used to date you.
Yeah, I used to date you. We used to knock on the boots.
But I mean, I guess realistically, I don't know how far their timeline was, but then at the same time too, it's like, okay,
They
there
broke up at 20, so they only dated for a year.
oh, they only dated for
Yeah.
a year.
Oh.
But then what is it?
She wanted to get back together when they were 22, but they did it because he was like, she thought he was easy.
And they're like 29, right?
Yeah, they're 29 now.
So then between that gap, I don't know what the timeline was for them to get married. But then the simple fact that she's just like, oh, that's the guy I cut all contact with. It's like, okay, where did he come up? Like, what?
Yeah, I think bottom line, the fact that he's still this angry at her after 7 years. After I didn't realize it was 7 years. That is insane.
Yeah.
Like, is she the only one that you think about like when you go to bed at this point? Have you not been in any other relationships? It doesn't sound like it. This is insane.
Sam, you just had a flashback. I saw that.
No, but I'm
That's-
like, this
that's
is
so
actually
weird.
kind of things I'm like, we talk about it at church with like, this is what soul ties are. When you're completely tied to a person and you can't get away from it, you don't know how to break ties. Because I'm like, realistically, you should be in a relationship. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You should be able to shake hands and say, we tried.
Good game.
Good game, exactly.
Good game.
And move on. But it's no, because we get into these relationships that we get so deep into them and you do things that you probably shouldn't be doing with just someone that you met that's going to end bad. And then you're completely just tied to that person for the rest of your life. You can't stop thinking about them. You compare future partners to them because you're like, you basically treated them like you were married. And I'm like, this is the complete definition of that. He like got way too invested. So angry. You should not be that angry over a person from years ago.
And with literally a year relationship.
Because I could talk to any of my exes right now and be like, and not have animosity, no matter how it ended. I'm not going to have animosity to you. I'm like, first of all, you were a person that I shared time with. So I'm like, I shared something with you. That's always going to be a good memory to me. We were together for a reason because we liked each other for some reason. No matter how it ended, like I'm not, that doesn't change what that was. So why am I going to be angry at you?
Crazy. Now I get why I was on Nice Guys.
Yeah,
I
that's
should have known.
totally a nice guy
Yeah,
thing.
Should have known.
100%. And it's like, I think the thing that makes it so frustrating about these nice guys is that no matter how much advice you give them, they just will not get it. They won't get it. He's like, okay, I get it. I am, whatever. And it's like, bro, read that as constructive criticism because you had no right to do that, and you're thinking you're in the right, and he's like, all right, I should probably go apologize. No, you shouldn't. No.
Yes, exactly.
Because your apology is going to
Yeah.
be messed up. You're gonna be like, I'm sorry, I just thought it'd be funny to say that. And it's like, husband gonna cut up. Husband gonna do some things. He gonna let him know. Like, no. Why are you dumb?
Right.
Are you simple minded? Like, what? He'll say exactly what I said. What reaction were you thinking that you were gonna get?
Yeah, because I have to admit something to you guys.
Oh no.
I'm a reformed nice guy.
Oh.
But
And
you
that's-
just said that they can't be reformed, Brandon. But
I
you're
want to tell you it can.
yeah.
They can change.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're looking at an example. This is a great guy
And
right
this is
here.
why I hate nice guys. Because I'm like, I recognize, like, in college, I was doing the exact same thing. Like, nice guys are almost worse than fuckboys because they think they're right. They think they're not being manipulative, but they're 100% way more manipulative than someone who's just a jerk, just as a personality. Thinking you're nice, but also doing the same jerk things and trying to manipulate behind. Oh my gosh! And I'm like, I know for a fact because I used to do it. I'm not proud of it. I've changed now. I'm more upfront. I'm better with communication. I'm not resentful of this other person. But I'm like, yeah, I used to be a nice guy.
Well, to that I'll say, let's just give him a round of applause, He's been saying. You make that transition. I guess I didn't know. I just, because I've had a lot of nice guy friends. So it's like, I would try to put them on game. I'd be like, yo, like, you probably shouldn't do this. Or, hey, think about the other person's emotions. Or, hey, maybe you aren't in the right.
Right.
And they're just like, no, I don't think, she just needs to understand where I'm coming from. It's like, no. All right. You know what? I can't help.
I think that's our first episode though, of whatever this show is called. We'll figure it
Comfort
out.
level 7.
God wants
Comfort
the
level
Aints,
7.
man. Come in 2023.
Shout out. Shout out.
Shout out Enoch.
Yeah. Enoch, man.
Enoch the guy.
They want you back, man. They miss you.
You know what I
Look
don't?
at Sam's face.
Maddie's a better Enoch. And I'm saying it.
Oh, no.
Listen, I'm Maddie. I'll never be Enoch.
I'm putting
Enoch
that
is
on
different,
camera
man.
right now.
Enoch
Maddie's
is great.
a better Enoch.
No.
She's going to cut that. You're saying
Put it in.
I'm going to cut that. Only export that. Send it to Enoch.
I'm going to say it every episode. You're going to have to keep cutting, baby. I'm going to say it every episode.
I'm going to say it while you're talking in the middle of telling your story.
Maddie's better Enoch.
it's all in vain.
What'd you say? Huh?
All in vain. Every single time.
Thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you hopefully next week for some more content.